You know, tithing has always been. I've known about tithing ever since I was a little girl. I grew up in the church, and I've been at Summit now 12, 13 years, something like that. And before that, I always heard about tithing. My parents tithe, I think, but I think they were always like no more than $20. So I thought that's what, I didn't know really what it.
I don't think that's tithing.
I didn't know what it meant. And so, but I always remember, my mother would say things sometimes like, don't give all your money to that church. Not this church, but just that statement. And then I remember sometimes hearing testimonies from people, they would stand up and say things like, they aren't paying their rent or their lights went off, but they're paying their tithe or something like that. And so I would always hear commentary, not just from family members and other people, that they were just stupid. And so I didn't really have an understanding. And I came here, and it was the first time when I came into this ministry that anybody ever took the time to explain to me just what tithing meant. I always had this fear, I think, that I think that's a fair way to put it, fear that it was somebody trying to get something from me, that this minister was trying to take my money. It was funny because I didn't even have any money really, but I didn't want him to take it, so, right. They passed the bucket around and it would just be a sad time for me. And so I just didn't really get it.
Well, and it's about being educated on what tithing is.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's not that people are trying to take something from you, but you're giving something, and in your giving, you're getting.
Yeah.
Because He's gonna make a way for you sowing into the ministry, giving your 10%, because that's what He tells you to do.
Yeah.
It guarantees you that He's gonna pour out a blessing.
I didn't get that then. I mean, I tried. I heard it, but it didn't translate. And there's this message that I actually have on my computer to this day called "Why the Tithe" by Pastor Al. He just talked about what the point of it was, just demystifying the tithe, certainly getting rid of all the myths about that it's something that's old, Old Testament or something you do, you did before but not anymore. And started tithing. It got to a point where I started tithing more than $20. Started tithing.
Your actual 10%.
Yeah, actual 10%, and then even getting more revelation and tithing off of my my gross, just the very amount that came in the door from my employer or wherever I was working. I just got a hold of it such that it was something that became a part of what I did. And now, as I look back at that time when I first learned about tithing, man, it's been the greatest. It's been one of my greatest honors, I think, of being a believer. One, I've seen it work. We've seen it work. Yeah, we've seen it work. Mark and I have been married for 10 years? Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That ain't working.
That's all. Wow.
But the tithing works. Yeah. But I remember 4 years ago was one of the worst times for me professionally. I have been a lawyer ever since I came home from law school back in 1996, and things went well. And then when I had my second son, the bottom fell out of my practice. I had no clients. I had no help. I had no basis really, at least I thought, to be able to get work or to generate work. And so I was struggling. It cut my salary in half. Although my taxes stayed the same, our taxes stayed the same. And so we had a lot going out and much less coming in. And Mark's building a business at that time. And so it was just on paper, a very, very rough time for somebody who, what people say, making good money, if you will. So I didn't know, and like I said, take a lot of things for granted. So I didn't know how to handle things. But one thing we knew was that we were going to, the idea of tithing never even came, of not tithing never even.
That wasn't even part of the equation.
Yeah.
We were going to tithe because we knew that was our way out. We knew that was our way out. So we had to make sure that was on top of our priority list. So that means if we had to cut out other things to make sure we had tithe money, that's what we did. That always came off the top first.
Yeah.
And then everything else we worked around.
And and that sounds all like nice and spiritual and everything like that, but it was deep at times. I remember sitting in the car, my accountant called and said, your tax bill for this month at that time was $10,000 is some crazy number just for one. And I remember sitting in the car crying, like, there's no way we don't have that. We know there's all the kind of things going on, and it was just hard. And so it would have been very easy to make a decision to, when you crunch the numbers, you look down and be like, look, if we take this number out and over the next 3 months, we can pay for this, but we never went there. And as a result of it, I look back at that time as being God just showed out. I mean, we didn't want for anything. Nothing broke down. Even the things I remember one day coming home and the microwave didn't work, and it was one of those days where when you feel like everything is falling apart, and then it just started working again. And I know that sounds crazy. If somebody would have told me those kind of stories like a long time ago, I'd have been like, whatever, it is that church stuff. But it's like I'm sitting down, I'm living it. I'm like, and we haven't had it fixed since. And so it's just nothing. Everything just kind of held. Did we have, I guess, an abundance of things flowing out of our pockets, or money and that sort of thing at that time? No. But then we didn't want for anything. Every last need that we had was met.
Paid off our car.
Yeah.
Took a vacation first time.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
For a week, going out to California. So we didn't want for anything. We didn't lack for anything.
Yeah.
God had us covered, and we truly believe that's because we continue to tithe.
Yeah.
And we watched my business grow because of tithing.
That's right.
From a company that was struggling to get off the ground to doing over $1 million a year, and watching your practice take off.
Yeah.
From not having any clients to two of the Fortune 500.
Yeah, I went from no clients to, it just seems like they were coming out of the woodwork. I couldn't not tithe now if I tried. I wouldn't even want the money. I could not do it now. And one of the things, beyond just the being kept financially and those sorts of things, for us, tithing is our. I count it a privilege to be able to be a part of taking care of the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We come here week in and week out and we get fed. So we want to make sure that home is taken care of.
Yeah.
So, it's not, and that's not part of our tithe, but that's part of our giving. We give beyond our 10% to make sure home is taken care of.
Yeah, my mom always taught me that, you don't go to nobody's house empty-handed. And so it's the way I feel about being able, the privilege of tithing in this ministry, because it's alive here. The word is alive here, and because of that, it like I said, it's wonderful to be able to be a partaker in that. The things that we do here in this ministry, and to make sure that things are taken care of. These lights, this stuff. The music ministry, all this stuff, the experience that people get. It's not. It doesn't just happen by magic, and so I'm glad,
Yeah, the video you're watching now.
Yeah, this video. So I'm excited about that. For us, for our family, tithing's not something. Would you say tithing's not what we do? It's a part of who we are.
Who we are.
Yeah,
it's a part of our lifestyle.
Yeah,
and we instill that in our kids.
Yeah.